The Erika Kirk rabbit hole never ends. She
Never
has now
ends.
began her speaking tour called Make Heaven Crowded with Pastor Greg Laurie, who is head of the Hervest Christian Fellowship Church.
Every single time you turn around, she's with some crooked ass pastor that literally has blatant allegations of sexual misconduct. She can't stay away from him.
And Greg Laurie got hit with serious allegations and lawsuits, allegedly, including claims from survivors. And guess where? Romania. Multiple lawsuits have been filed.
Romania. Yet another person that has sexual allegations with Romanian tadpoles. At some point, we have to stop and say, yo, something's really wrong here. Every damn day is something new about traffic lighting tadpoles. And if you don't know what traffic lighting tadpoles is, ask somebody in the chat. They'll help you, because certain things I cannot say online or my video would get demonetized.
Against Greg Laurie, as well as the church, by nearly 20 survivors. So
20.
yeah, this is who Erika is platforming. At this point, saying just let her grieve is out the window. No one's buying it. Erika Kirk was also seen at the Peach Bowl in Atlanta without her kids and wearing a hat with Charlie's initials. And I wish I was joking, I really do, but it's being sold on the TPUSA merch website.
So it's like every time she wears a shirt, every time she wears a hat, she has to make some money off of it. And I'm about to show you something else that she's making money off of. Well, she's making money off of y'all, not donors like she usually does. She's making money off of y'all. I'm about to show that to y'all here. And this is the problem with Erika Kirk right here.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
I played this game with my mother yesterday, and she told me things I never knew about her.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
This is a give, send, go. This is one of those GoFundMe type of websites where when you're in trouble, when you have some issues, put up a GoFundMe in order to get somebody to help you in need. Because I want to make sure you see it. How much money did they raise? Put in the chat how much money you see that she raised. This woman is literally just running plays.
About Greg Laurie of Hervest Church in Riverside, California have been getting some traction lately, and I think I know why. I'm pretty sure I posted about this in the first video about Hervest Church, but
so I just want to make sure y'all are understanding. Hervest Church partnering with Erika Kirk, and they're going on tour together, and the name of the tour is crazy. The name of it is called Make Heaven Crowded Tour, right?
The reason we're here tonight is we want to encourage you in your faith. We want to pray for a revival, a spiritual awakening in America. And we want to encourage you all who are Christians to preach the gospel. And we want to say to you who are not believers yet, believe in Jesus Christ. That's our message tonight.
so yeah, as this Romanian orphanage case seems to be picking up some speed, he is hosting a TPUSA event headlined with Erika Kirk. The lawsuits center around this guy who was a missionary in Romania. He operated a shelter in Romania for almost 10 years, and he was accused of both CSA and human trafficking, which, if you didn't know, it is Human Trafficking Awareness Month. 7 women alleging abuse recently joined a lawsuit that previously had a group of 12, bringing the total to, I think, 19. And
now do y'all see why I'm on Erika's ass so much? This is the person that she's touring with presently. It's like every 2 weeks, this freaking woman decides to go out and start hanging out with a new person that loves pizza. And some of y'all know what pizza is. This is absolutely disgusting.
it seems like the church knew about these abuse allegations in the early 2000s and never reported it to the police, which is against the law in California because they are mandated reporters. Correction, apparently the allegations started coming out in 1999. You can pause to read, but basically the gist is that
it says lawsuit also alleges that the abuse reports had grown so numerous by 2004 that Hervest, that's the church, Hervest Church or whatever, authorized an inspection. The result of the inspection, according to the lawsuit, shows conclusive evidence. See, talking about somebody suing me. This is conclusive evidence. I'm reading articles. All right. This is Ministry Watch. They're watching these pieces of shit. All right. conclusive evidence that Havsgard was doing something with tadpoles and misappropriating money, both on a shocking scale. Nevertheless, Hervest, which is a church, did not remove Havsgard at that point, according to the court filing. See, I'm reading things according to court filings. What the hell are they going to sue me for? I'm just reading stuff. Laurie, which is Greg Laurie, which is the guy that Erika Kirk is touring with, instead engineered a soft landing to let Havsgard stay in charge, free to blank more tadpoles, while Laurie slowly closed the money spigot.
Just let the money run dry slowly while Havsgard remained in charge in Romania. And if that's true, this is just truly heartbreaking and sickening. If this sounds somewhat familiar, you've probably seen this film before. Anyway, Greg also had a surprise guest at the
Whoa. Let me see that again. All right, let's see what it says. She put this up. Colorado mega church. See? Colorado this time. Colorado mega church outs 2 more pastors as scandal concerning the cover-up of Robert Morse's child blank continues. Not starts, but continues. And at the bottom it says, following the departure of Pastor Brady Boyd in the center, New Life Church pastors Brian Newberg left and Lance Coles Wright have also resigned. Do y'all see this mess? And these are the people that Erika Kirk is totally okay with platforming. The grift master, Erika Kirk.
Anyway, Greg also had a surprise guest at the TPUSA event.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. What? Everybody hit the like button.
Turning Point USA's newest grift is the Make Heaven Crowded tour. I think we could have workshopped that title a little bit. It's giving Jonestown. It's marketed as a gospel-centered gathering, calling people to repentance, faith, and bold obedience of Jesus. Because nothing says bold obedience to Jesus like a $75 martyr hoodie sold at a merch table. The first stop on this tour is LA, if you consider LA to be Riverside. And if you're curious about the type of people who may one day potentially make heaven crowded, you're in for a treat. We have Pastor Greg Laurie, the founder of Hervest Christian Fellowship, who is currently facing multiple federal lawsuits. We're talking like 12, alleging that a former pastor affiliated with Pastor Laurie's church sexually abused and trafficked
tadpoles
at one of the church-affiliated shelters in Romania. Lawsuits claim that Pastor Laurie failed to oversee, supervise, and remove this abuser from the church. This pastor in question preyed on vulnerable children with promises of food and shelter before subjecting them to horrific treatment. So I don't know, maybe
horrific treatment. And they let these people right back in.
Pastor Laurie's there for the repentance part. Doubtful. Then we have Lucas Miles, a conservative Christian commentator and pastor, known for critiquing the Christian left, big anti-woke guy. He's been quoted saying critical race theory robs God of his glory, but I guess sharing a stage with someone accused of enabling the abuse of children is fine. These cafeteria Christians, picking and choosing. He also speaks out against money and influence being applied to theological training centers, says the guy headlining a billionaire-backed Turning Point USA tour. He's been quoted saying critical race theory robs God of his glory, but I guess sharing a stage with someone accused of enabling the abuse of children is fine. These cafeteria Christians, picking and choosing. And then we have Bryce Crawford, whose biggest crime is really looking like someone who would wear this hoodie. His whole thing is having a life-changing experience at Waffle House that prevented him from taking his own life. And to that I say, there's been a lot of hungover college kids who also thought a meal at Waffle House saved their life. You know, with a heaven like this, who needs hell?
Now, I do not claim to be a public relations wizard. I don't do PR, certainly not. If you Google my name, you'll see. I don't care so much about it. But what I will say, that is, if
shout out to Candace Owens.
If a 94 TikTokers were out there making videos about me, accusing me of trafficking children from Romania, I would probably do my very best to stay away from the theme of trafficking.
And stop hanging out with alleged traffickers. But it's like they can't.
And to stay away altogether from the theme of Romania. I just wouldn't even fly over the country for a little bit. But not Erika Kirk, because she's got Andrew Colvett as her PR. And he's like really smart, you know, live texting people, getting caught, doing stuff behind the scenes, which is why she's soon going to be speaking with Greg Laurie's Hervest Church for Turning Point USA's Faith Make Heaven Crowded tour. Okay. I can show you that. I think we have that here on the website so you can see if this is a real thing that's happening. And they're partnering with the Hervest Church to do this. It says that she is going to be
Thank you, Tony.
Speaking in, is that it live streamed in Orange County? It's Hervest Orange County Church. Now, what's wrong with this? In case you are wondering or have not heard, what is going on with Hervest Church and Greg Laurie?
Yes, Candace broke this. And what I love about Candace is she doesn't harp on things. She just puts it out. And what happens is we don't really think about much of what she said about this guy or that guy because we don't recognize their names, right? But once she puts that name out in the atmosphere, it causes the rest of us to start doing research on this particular person. And then next thing you know, you're like, yo, this guy is disgusting. And he's on tour with Erika Kirk. So she just drops breadcrumbs in order for the rest of us to do more research. So I love how she operates. So sometimes it's about what you're not saying instead of what you are saying.
Here's an article which tells us that Greg Laurie, there's been a number of lawsuits filed against Hervest Christian Fellowship, the founder, Greg Laurie, and also the churches related to alleged abuse of young men at a children's home in Romania. Okay, there's 12 lawsuits actually. The original lawsuit was filed in September by two men claiming that Paul Havsgaard, he is a former pastor and a missionary at Hervest Christian Fellowship in Riverside, California. So that's that area where they're all from. Colvette's from there, that area. He's from Santa Barbara, actually. McCoys are from there. And they're alleging that he abused them at a children's shelter in Bucharest, Romania. The allegations include children being tied to radiators, being made to kneel down on walnut shells, being touched inappropriately, and being pimped out for sex. Now, the number of litigants, as I said, has risen to 12, and the law firm that's representing the survivors said in a news release that they are expecting 23 former residents of the home to bring complaints. The most recent complaints were filed in November. The court documents claim that Greg Laurie and the Hervest Christian Fellowship sent funding to Havsgaard, which they obviously did send funding to him while he was there, and they were negligent in supervising him while he was there, despite reports of abuse. And so he's offering back that, oh, well, that's a pastor that we were funding. It's not the entire church. It's not fair.
And this is how they do it. It's not the entire church. It's just the pastor. But then you'll turn around and look up and they'll let the pastor person back.
Or the whole church for what Paul Havsgaard is being alleged to have done. I'm saying this is just too many times. For me.
Too many.
I don't know about you guys. I'm getting Romanian trafficking fatigue. Okay. I'm getting Ukrainian, Romanian trafficking fatigue. It just can't be that all of these military people that are adjacent to the military, go out there in a place where they're perfectly safe. Actually, they're quite immune to prosecution because that's the deal that gets struck up between the governments is like you can do whatever you want on your base. And I'm going, what the heck is going on here? So I reached out to some people that I know, and I say, what is this strand? I don't know much about the military. Why does this keep happening? And what they told me, and this is also proven currently right now, a bunch of South Korean women have filed a unprecedented lawsuit against the United States military for the same thing, for running a brothel where they are stationed in South Korea. And so what they are telling me adds up. It's tracking. What they say is, okay, think of a military base. Anywhere in the world, you have a bunch of men who do not have regular access to women. So in those circumstances, and you also have a bunch of people that are, at the top of that military, they tell me is that they will typically send someone out who will be a woman. So think of like a Ghislaine Maxwell to go out and to find them their interests, their tastes, young women that can be manipulated. That person will often describe themselves as a casting director to go out there and to tell the women to come onto the base. Once they're on the base, anything can happen to them. Like I said, they are afforded no protections from their government, and our government is not going to prosecute the men that do anything on that base. That's how the typical deal works. And yeah, I don't know. Just like from a PR perspective, I'm not so concerned about why it is that Tucker Carlson, who just believes that we shouldn't get involved in wars, just like Charlie believed, is speaking at Turning Point USA. I am kind of concerned why all of these pastors who seem to be rehabilitating pedophiles are welcomed.
Yeah.
Well, I just feels like a thing easily to say we're just not right now, Greg Laurie, until we get to the bottom of whether or not your church was more involved than these people are alleging. Because it's interesting that he's not saying it didn't happen. He's saying, well, it's not the whole church, just this pastor. Anyways, we'll continue to follow that lawsuit, but I find that to be pointedly absurd. And this is Turning Point Faith in a nutshell, which I am an enemy of. But if you would like me to do your PR too, here, shoot my shot. You can pay me. I'm definitely, I think, more capable.
This is what I'm talking about, y'all. It's just absolutely disgusting, man.
So say a prayer for Scott Adams and his family.
The last time I posted about Greg Laurie, I had hundreds of comments from people that attend Greg Laurie's church that were very upset. I was talking about this lawsuit. Romanian lawsuits multiply against Hervest Christian Fellowship and Pastor Greg Laurie.
And this is what happens with these piece of crap pastors. Their flock. The little people that follow them and listen to everything that they say simply because they use God and Jesus as way to manipulate people. The man is allegedly extremely dangerous around kids. But because he's a pastor, because he stands in front of everybody, because he reads the Bible, because he talks about Jesus and Christianity, everybody literally ignores what the man is doing. And this is the reason why I say, in my opinion, religion is the number one thing that causes every war that we've ever had in America and outside of America. It's always religion. But nobody ever wants to wake up and see, hey, religion is the damn problem. Whether it causes divisiveness over here or whether it causes people to ignore what is happening to children over here. Either way it goes, it's divisive and it's problematic.
Have an update. Let's read this article together. 2 lawsuits became 4. 4 became 6. And then 6 a dozen. Now megachurch pastor Greg Laurie, his Riverside, California-based Hervest.
Megachurch, Riverside, California, tadpole traffic lights. It's always the same shit. And of course, it's all connected to Turning Point USA faith. Turning Point USA faith is a huge problem. 1000%.
Christian Fellowship, and 2 former ministers of that church are facing 12 different lawsuits from 12 different men.
12 different lawsuits from men. Apparently he likes boys. It's not girls this time, it's boys.
Each of the men say they were essayed while growing up in Romanian orphanages that Hervest Christian Fellowship founded and funded but failed to oversee. One of them called Hervest's orphanage program in Romania a madhouse run by a beep beep. Hervest has called the suits a form of financial extortion and said that targeting the megachurch has become the near total focus of an attorney at McAllister Oliverius, a New York and London-based firm. We have attempted in good faith to engage with the lawyer, but the lawsuit represents only the latest demand, and in this case, many tens of millions of dollars. The multiplying lawsuits do not name specific amounts, but the 12 men have each asked federal courts for damages in amounts to establish a trial, including punitive damages and compensation for ongoing and severe mental anguish.
Said some people, they cite the Bible to excuse being evil. That's exactly what I've always said. I told y'all one of the main things that saved me as a child, and I told y'all this, was this guy. I told y'all when I was a kid, I watched this and it saved my life because this guy was a priest or a pastor. And it reminded me like, oh, damn, this pastor is walking around talking about God and he's the damn devil.
Oh. Hi. Are you lost, sweetheart? Are you afraid, honey? Well, why don't you come with me? God is here.
And the song is always God is this and God is that.
Earthly thoughts, be silent now.
And head of the now defunct Hervest Homes in Romania, first blank 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 inappropriately in 2000. Vasil was 8 years old.
8.
Now 34, Vasil recalls Havsgard would give him a reward if he stayed quiet. Marion Barbu, also 34, claims Havsgard put a pillow over his face when he was 8 and smothered him to keep him quiet while Havsgard blank blank blank.
Wow.
Barbu said he thought he was going to be unalived. Later he wanted to blank blank blank. I can't say anything in this paragraph, but you should pause to read it. Alexandru, not even going to attempt, 37, has visible scars on his wrist. Oh, blank, blank, blank. Can't say that either. You know what? I'm just going to let you pause to read this entire page because I can't say most of this.
Pause to read if y'all want to.
Today, Natu reports he still feels overwhelmed by shame. He cannot seem to shake the belief that he was victimized because he is fundamentally dirty, according to his lawsuit. These are 8 other men who have sued with similar stories. Havsgard, who has retired in California, could not be reached for comment. He has not spoken publicly about the growing numbers of allegations of blank. Havsgard has not been charged with any crimes. The Protect Act in 2003 made it a federal crime to engage in illicit blank, blank, blank. Government prosecutors are currently using the law to prosecute an Ohio man who allegedly blank multiple boys. 11 men are also planning to sue, bringing the lawsuits to a total of 23.
23 lawsuits, one pastor. And this is the man that is out there with Erika Kirk preaching to her people, to her audience. Well, actually, it's Charlie Kirk's audience because Erika Kirk stole Charlie Kirk's audience. And this is absolutely disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting.
According to a spokesman at McAllister Oliverius, they are expected to file in coming weeks.
This is what's happening with Erika Kirk. Not literally because of what she's doing, it's because of who she's affiliating herself with. She still has the same security team that allowed her husband to get killed. It's starting to look like she doesn't give a shit about Charlie Kirk and never gave a shit about Charlie Kirk. And this whole thing, like I said, was a psyop. So because of that, I can't say she's an idiot because she might be a genius because guess what? She didn't go to jail for what she did. I'll say it again. Erika Kirk did not go to jail for what she did, which makes her a genius. So I can't call her an idiot because she got away with it.
Around and travel, and we don't need sleep. I don't need sleep. I drink coffee. I drink like 8 cups of coffee a day.
Dragon Komodo.
Yeah, I drink Komodo dragon coffee.
You sound like that guy, Charlie, or what's his name? You sound like that guy, Charlie, or what's his name?
Then this woman goes out and marries the same guy that her boyfriend was just making fun of. And then, or somebody kills him. I don't think she kills him, but somebody kills him. And now she's back happy. So put a 1 in the chat if you think Erika Kirk is happier now that Charlie Kirk is dead. But like I said, if you want to support the show, Cash App is $AARON 1000. You can also drop a super thanks after the video is over. Hype the video also.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
And no, I don't know who Chris McNabb is. I'm not sure who that is.
Everybody hit the like button. If you got something to say, drop it in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. What? Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. If you got something to say, drop it in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you wet. Drop your city. Wet. Drop your city in the chat. Wet. Drop your city. Wet. Drop your city in the chat. Drop your city in the chat. What? Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.